Bill?
All right, I'd like to call this meeting to order. First, I'd like to note where our fire exits are, to my left through that door, and then through the door through which we all came in today. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Attendance, please.
Member Sprata?
Present.
Member Menard?
Present.
Member Yarborough?
Present.
Acting Chairman Delaney?
Present. Are you ready for legal notice?
Please take notice that the Zoning Board of Appeals of the Village of Depew will hold a public hearing on June 13th, 2024 at 7 p.m. in the Council Chambers of the Municipal Building, 85 Manitou Street, Depew, New York, to consider the application of Ronald J. McFarland for the property located at 32 Lee Street, Depew, New York, 14043, of Chapter 260, subset 260-14B-I-5, to be allowed to construct a carport 6.5 feet from the principal dwelling, requesting 3.5 feet of relief from the required 10 feet minimum building separation from principal building. A pre-board meeting will begin at 6:30 p.m. in the conference room of the municipal building, 85 Manitou Street, Depew, New York. Any and all persons interested in such application will be heard at this time.
Okay, I'd like anyone interested in this application to step forward, tell us your name and what you'd like to do, please.
Hey, I'm Ron McFarland, and I'm requesting the 3.5-foot variance. To put the carport the size that I need to park my truck in there, if I come 5 feet off the property line, which it is, and then over to the house, I'm 3.5 feet within that 10-foot allotment from the house. So it would come at 6.5 foot off the house instead of 10. That's basically what it is.
Any questions from fellow board members? Member Sprata?
Have you talked to neighbors, how they feel about what you are planning to do?
Yeah, that was a little bit of a game. My neighbors are always home, and they weren't home last night. And then this morning I got up and they were gone already.
Oh.
Turns out he had blood pressure bottomed out, and he was dizzy, and he was in the hospital all day yesterday. And then he went back in the hospital this morning, but they got home about 3, and she wrote a letter. I don't know who.
Okay,
We'll
you
take
can
that up here.
give that to the chairman.
She wrote a note and put their phone numbers in case somebody wanted to call.
Thank you for going through that.
Yeah, and they're on the side where the carport would go.
Where you want to do the construction, yeah.
In fact, he called a relative of his that knows somebody that does construction and that could do it for me. So they're well-versed in what I'm trying to do. Not to mention that I'm at the fence talking to them all the time.
Right. Any further questions, Member Sprata?
No.
Member Menard, any questions?
None from me.
Member Yarborough?
No questions.
Any questions, comments, concerns from code?
Nope, we've already discussed everything as much as we could possibly discuss it.
Yeah, Don helped me with a lot of this.
So, as long as you have no problem with it, we don't have any problem with it.
Okay. Any public comment or questions on this project? Okay. So with that, I'm going to read, as part of your packet, you filled out 6 criteria for an area variance in New York State. I'm going to read the questions and your answers to them. Number 1, will an undesirable change be produced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties be created by granting of the area variance? You wrote, definitely not. Most houses already have garages. And I'd say that's accurate.
Number 2, can the benefit sought by you, the applicant, be achieved by some other method other than an area variance? You wrote no, carport size is needed. I would say that's true. 3, is the requested area variance substantial? You wrote not in my opinion, and I would say no. Number 4, will the proposed area variance have an adverse effect or impact the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district? You wrote no, and I'd agree. 5, is the alleged difficulty self-created, which consideration shall be relevant to the decision of the Zoning Board of Appeals, but not necessarily preclude the granting of the requested area variance? You wrote yes, and that's true. 6, what is the minimum area variance deemed necessary and adequate? You wrote 3.5 feet, carport would be 6.5 feet from the side of the house, and that is true. All right, so with that, one of my fellow board members would like to put forth a motion to grant or deny this variance as presented.
I'll make the motion to grant the variance.
Motion made by member Yarborough to grant, second.
I'll second it.
Seconded by member Sprata. Roll call vote, please.
Member Spencer. Member Sprata?
Yes.
Member Menard?
Yes.
Member Yarborough?
Yes.
Acting Chairman Delaney?
Yes.
That's 4 yes, 0 no. Variance approved.
Congratulations.
Sounds like America's Got Talent.
Something like that.
What's
So,
my next?
the next step is this will be approved at the next board meeting, which will be the following Monday. Once that's done, we could issue your permit and you can get started.
Use it or no?
Huh?
Use this or no?
Yeah, just you gotta wait till the Monday, the board votes on Monday, which ratifies what happened here.
It's only a couple of days, right?
Is it this
No,
one? the
not
next-
this Monday, the
Following.
following.
Following Monday.
Following. Okay. All right.
All right?
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care.
Thank you.
Can we get a second next legal notice, please?
Please take notice that the Zoning Board of Appeals of the Village of Depew will hold a public hearing on June 13th, 2024 at 7 p.m. in the council chambers of the Municipal Building, 85 Manitou Street, Depew, New York, to consider the application of Leonard E. Recor for the property located at 32 Morris Circle, Depew, New York, 14043, of Chapter 260, subset 260-14B I-5, to be allowed to construct a shed 3 feet from property line, requesting relief of 2 feet from required 5 feet property line setback. A pre-board meeting will begin at 6:30 p.m. in the conference room of the Municipal Building, 85 Manitou Street, Depew, New York. Any and all persons interested in such application will be heard at this time.
Please state your name, tell us what you'd like to do.
Yeah, my name is Leonard Recor, and I want a variance from my neighbors instead of 5 feet, 3 feet. I have a letter from them also.
Oh, please. Thank you very much. We can hold on to this, correct?
Yeah, you can.
Any questions from board members, Member Sprata?
No, you've got a unique property and it's, where it's located.
Yep.
You're at the lowest point of the area and in the springtime you get a lot of flooding. You got a creek, a feeder creek that runs through your.
Oh, I got some
property.
pictures. If you see in the backyard, that's why nobody can build back there.
Yeah,
Anything.
yeah.
Because I'd have to take a canoe to it,
Yeah.
literally.
Okay. And you've spent quite a substantial amount of money to rectify that situation with water and,
Well, I've got, like I said, lawnmowers and different things. I got neighbor's property in the back and stuff, so.
Right.
I made it a point to be able to get back there, so I figured this would only help. Can't leave stuff outside, it just rusts too much.
yeah. Thank you. I have no further questions.
Anything, Member Menard?
No, sir.
Member Yarborough?
No.
Any questions, comments, concerns from code?
This is a high spot on that back property, or is it a low spot?
It's low, I had to put some boards so I could even it out, because it just slants right down to the creek,
Okay.
so.
So the only concern I'd have is maybe anchoring because of its vicinity to the creek in case it overflows,
Oh,
that it doesn't sweep it away.
yeah, it can't, way I've done it and stuff, it's,
I'll look at it.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it when I come out to actually inspect it.
no problem.
Okay. Any public comment on this project? Okay. So with that, I'm going to once again read the 6 criteria for an area variance in New York as you filled out in your packet, the questions and your answers to them. Number 1, will an undesirable change be produced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties be created by granting of the area variance? You wrote no, and I said it's accurate. Number 2, can the benefit sought by you, the applicant, be achieved by some other method other than an area variance? You wrote no, and I agree. 3, is the requested area variance substantial? You wrote no, and I'd agree. Will the proposed area variance have an adverse effect or impact the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district? You wrote no, and I'd say that's true. 5, is the alleged difficulty self-created, which consideration shall be relevant to the decision of the Zoning Board of Appeals, but not necessarily preclude the granting of the requested area variance? You wrote no, I would say it's yes. And then last but not least, what is the minimum area variance deemed necessary and adequate? You wrote 2 feet. Is that right as far as you know, Don?
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, so with that, one of my fellow board members would like to put forth a motion to grant or deny this variance as presented.
I'll put forward a motion to accept,
To grant? Okay.
to grant the request as
Okay,
stated.
motion made by member Sprata. Do we have a second?
I second.
Seconded by member Menard. Roll call vote, please.
Member Sprata?
Yes.
Member Menard?
Yes.
Member Yarborough?
Yes.
Acting Chairman Delaney?
Yes.
4 yes, 0 no, variance approved.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Same thing, after next Monday.
If the minutes are done by then,
Yeah.
because sometimes it's tricky.
So everything has a recommendation and it's got to be ratified by the actual village board.
Something gets a hold of me or back here.
I will get all of you.
But anyway, what I did just before the kick, then I done that.
Yeah, everything's still being recorded. That's great, no problem. We'll have this conversation later.
Good enough. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next legal notice, please.
Please take notice that the Zoning Board of Appeals of the Village of Depew will hold a public hearing on June 13th, 2024 at 7 p.m. in the council chambers of the municipal building, 85 Manitou Street, Depew, New York, to consider the application of Alyssa Williams for the property located at 97 Terrell Street, Depew, New York, 14043 of Chapter 260, subset 260-14B1H, to be allowed to construct a concrete driveway 4.5 feet past the allowed 5-foot projection in front of the principal dwelling, for a total of 9.5 feet in front of the principal dwelling. A pre-board meeting will begin at 6:30 p.m. in the conference room of the municipal building, 85 Manitou Street, Depew, New York. Any and all persons interested in such application will be heard at this time.
Okay, please step forward, tell us your name, and tell us what you'd like to do.
Hi, my name is Alyssa Williams. I would like to have 4.5 feet past the allowed 5 feet of my driveway. I was here last year and originally requested 5 feet. I didn't realize that I could file for an appeal, so that's why now I'm applying for the 4.5 feet. The driveway was a single-car driveway. It's very narrow next to the house. You can't get out of your car if you're parking next to the house. So the extra footage on the side allows for 2 cars to be parked in the front of the house.
Any questions from board members? Member Strata?
Have you talked to neighbors about what you plan to do?
Yes, some of my neighbors are here.
Okay. Does he have to state his name?
Oh, this is my brother,
Okay.
Matthew Williams. He's the one that did the work,
Okay.
just in case there was any questions.
Okay, anything else, Member Strata?
No, not right now.
Member Menard? Questions?
So, from what I understand, you want 4 feet, but are they gonna connect to other driveways?
This was we had this one last year. What happened is her driveway's already on the property line.
Okay,
The gentleman next door got a variance because he has a very short driveway. He needed extra room for cars. He brought his up and was granted to bring to her property line. Why this gentleman here was doing the work for him. She decided to have hers widened too, didn't know she needed a variance.
So it's already there, it's not
It's
done?
Yeah, well, she actually applied last year and it was turned down and they wanted her to cut the whole thing out. But she, instead of cutting the whole thing out, they wanted to reapply. They can't reapply the same one because it's been turned down, so they asked for
A shorter,
shorter version of that. And I says, it would be up to you to decide what you would allow her to keep, if anything. So she's here just to ask if, you would allow her to keep the 4.5 feet or a modified version of that.
okay, no questions then?
Member Yarborough?
No questions.
Questions, comments, concerns from code?
Nope, we're all good.
Okay, public comment, questions, concerns?
I don't have any concerns, but I'm assuming I got a letter because you guys wanted to hear what I had to say.
Please step forward.
So,
Tell us your name.
my name is Vincent Sperendale. I live next door.
How
And
do you spell your last name? I'm sorry.
Sperandeo.
Thank you.
So first, I can attest to what she says about parking next to the house, you can't get out. There was an older lady who lived there before her. She was sick, cancer and whatever. I used to shovel her driveway, take care of her grass for her every now and then when her son couldn't get there. And moving her car up to snowplow, it is tight. You hit the house with the door. So she's telling the truth with that. Second, living in the neighborhood, that driveway was dirty, it was cracked, it was beat. You know, it was, as far as I'm concerned, it was a safety hazard because it was unlevel. You get stuck on it with the snow blower and whatever. She's doing a good job with the house. She hasn't been there long, and I think she's doing a great job. The driveway looks fantastic, never looked that good. The landscaping, grass, everything. So I don't know if it helps, but being the guy that lives directly next door, I just thought, you guys could hear my opinion about it.
We appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks.
Any other public comment, questions, concerns? Okay. All right, so with that, I'm going to read the questions and answers for an area variance that you filled out as part of your packet. Number 1, will an undesirable change be produced in the character of the neighborhood or detriment to nearby properties be created by granting of the area variance? You wrote no, and I'd say that's true. Number 2, can the benefit sought by you, the applicant, be achieved by some other method other than an area variance? You wrote no, and that's true. Number 3, is the requested area variance substantial? You wrote yes, and that's accurate. 4, will the proposed area variance have an adverse effect or impact the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district? You wrote no, and I'd say that's true. Number 5, is the alleged difficulty self-created, which consideration shall be relevant to the decision of the Zoning Board of Appeals, but not necessarily preclude the granting of the requested area variance? You wrote no, I would say yes. And last but not least, what is the minimum area variance deemed necessary and adequate? You wrote the extra 4.5 feet beyond the allowed 5 feet by length of the driveway, so the variance is 4.5 feet, right?
Yes.
All right, so with that, would you like to, one of my fellow board members would like to put forth a motion to grant or deny this variance as presented?
I'll make the motion to grant the variance.
Motion made by member Yarborough to grant,
I'll
second,
second it.
seconded by member Sprata. Roll call vote, please.
Member Sprata?
Yes.
Member Menard?
Yes.
Member Yarborough?
Yes.
Acting Chairman Delaney?
Yes,
4 yes, 0 no, variance approved.
Thank you.
congratulations. We have a motion to,
He's probably into
we have a motion to close the hearing.
I'll make the motion.
Motion to close, we have a second.
The second to motion.
Motion made by member Yarborough, seconded by member Menard. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Hearing's closed.